both models are going to coexist. People come here to the US. Another thing is bring the education to the local country. So for thousands of years, education hasn't changed. The student has gone to the school. And so now we have a disruptive technology with online education. We can bring the education to the student. I think it's a major change in the way things are happening. Now, it's a different experience, but it is an opportunity here. And we were talking to our friends from Ghana that this is now, all of a sudden, this could be the beginning of bringing entrepreneurship to their country. This online education may fit them very well. And as we talked about, entrepreneurship wants to be local. We talked about the education problem. And now we just talk a little bit about talk about the entrepreneurship education here in the Boston campus. And then I want to talk to you a little bit about online. So here I'm in the School of Technological Entrepreneurship. And we firmly believe that you can't educate an entrepreneur just with pure academic classes. Does everybody believe that? There's a combination of art and science, and you have to do it. Now, the interesting question is, because Northeastern, our roots are experiential learning, #1 experiential university in the world. Okay. So now the question really is, how do you really give somebody an experiential education in entrepreneurship? Have any ideas? Go make them start a company. Yeah. But working at a startup company, do you think you get the true feeling of what is entrepreneurship? So does anybody have any other idea how you would start? Any other ideas about how you give somebody like the experience? If you truly believe that entrepreneurship is you start with a wisp of an idea and you breathe life into it, in the end you're going to create some sort of wealth at the end. That means you have to do something when somebody has a technical idea and they're trying to figure out, is this a great idea? You're starting to figure out the business model. The business could go any which way. The technology can go any which way. That's what entrepreneurship is all about, and it's a really hard problem. But if you send people off here, to co-op, it's not that great experience for entrepreneurship because the horse has long since left the barn. Because you start with an entrepreneur, you hear stories about people starting in a garage, starting in somebody's living room, starting with, I got some money from my grandmother to do this. This is all how companies really start. If you're a co-op, it means they already have like a job requisition, they already have a secretary, they already have a building, and they have things for you to do. That's all gone. So we do here in the School of Technological Entrepreneurship or whatever, we have this thing called incubator. As opposed to an incubator. An incubator is, we think of somebody brings a company on the campus and you heat it up a little bit and off it goes. An incubator is something you start with this wisp of an idea and all of a sudden you're going to try to make it into a project. So our students come here to campus and what happens is they get a world-class education from our faculty in the academics of entrepreneurship, and at the same time they start with a project when the project could be based on like some great intellectual property produced by our world-class technical faculty. So the students now are getting this academic education. At the same time, they're getting an experiential education. What does it take to really make a company? And the two things interact with each other. So I look at it as saying is the students are sort of like they're getting doubly educated. They're seeing the theory and practical cases in the academics, and they're seeing the project work. Doing that. And also it's very interesting because the students get something that they would not get anywhere else is that in the beginning, so the professor produces some intellectual property. The students are part of the management team of the company. So the students really get to sit in the catbird seat, and there's no other way in the world that somebody else is going to be able to get that true experience. So that's what goes on in the incubator. And that's all happening here in the Boston campus. But now we talked about an alternative model for online. And what we're developing now in the future is the ability to offer the same kind of experience online. And it's an interesting thing if you think about it a little bit, because you could say, well, everybody knows how to take online classes. That's been pretty much cupcake in the industry. People know how to do that, and people use course management systems. We use Blackboard here at Northeastern. But the interesting challenge is how do you do the projects? And so we think that we have a special sauce worked out where students will bring projects They can exist in different countries, different parts of the United States. They get to bring projects. They get to figure out which of these projects are good to work on. Students will coalesce into teams, and in a virtual sense, it'll be this virtual incubator, and students will get the same kind of experience as they did here on the ground. Or it's a different kind of experience, but they'll get the thing of learning how to do entrepreneurship. So that's sort of where we're going in the future.